Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत् कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणे हरे कृष्ण. So today we'll see verse number 23. So Krishna is explaining how his abode is the supreme abode, and how the supreme person or Krishna himself can be attained by devotion only. And that is pure bhakti. And he also explained that he pervades everywhere. Now, in the next few slokas, Krishna, after explaining how the supreme abode is attained by bhakti, and those who go there does not come back. Now, the question will come how actually, also Krishna has explained about the different other destinations. So Krishna will now, from this shloka, explains how a soul reaches there. So let's see this verse. Yatra kale tava anavrittim.
Yatra kale tava anavitrim.
Avrittim chaiva yogina.
Avitrim chaiva yogina.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Prayata ayanti tam kalam.
Vakshayami Bharatavarshava.
Vakshayami bharatarsharbah.
Yatra kale tva anavrittim.
Yatra kale tva anavitrim.
Avrittim chaiva yogina.
Avitrim chaiva yogina.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Vakshami Bharatavarshava. Bharatarshava.
Vakshami bharatarshava.
Please stand.
Yatra kale tav anavritim avitrim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshayami bharatarshava.
Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarshava.
Thank you. So translation and purport. O best of Bharatas, I shall now explain to you different times at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. Purport. The unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord who are totally surrendered souls do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hands so easily and happily return to Godhead. But those who are not unalloyed devotees and who depend instead on such method of spiritual realization as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga must leave the body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether or not they will return to this world of birth and death. If a yogi is a perfect, he can select time and situation of leaving this material world. But if he is not so expert, his success depends on his accidentally passing away at a certain suitable time. The suitable time at which one passes away does not come back are explained by the Lord in the next verse. Accordingly, Acharya Baldev Vidya Bhushan, the Sanskrit word Kala, used here in refers to the presiding deity of the time. So from this verse, Krishna actually will explain, um, because he explained that one can attain his abode from where no one returns by doing bhakti. By bhakti's path, they can reach directly there. So then how about the other? Because Krishna has explained about the other destinations also, right? Brahmaloka, Pitraloka, and different higher planets. So how a yogi will reach there? So the question is like how the yogi maybe like travels to those planets, because the soul has once the soul leaves this body, it has to go to certain place. But how it goes? Who takes those souls there? It's a very logical question that will come, right? And these few verses are actually like Srila Prabhupada mentions here, Kale or Kala is the deity. So like we know, right, for every aspect of the material existence, there is deity, or like deity for hand, deity for hair, deity for body, deity for eyes, deity for eyebrows, everything. There are deities, right? Ears. Similarly, there are deities for day and night, smoke, fire, moon, sun. Everything has a in charge deity, or a person who takes care of the responsibility assigned to that particular post. So, for example, the in the Vedic Shastras, there are explanation, right? If you want a good wife, okay, you worship sun god. So that jurisdiction is in the sun god, that he can grant the benedictions in that area. Also, there is god of say eyes, who take care of the functioning of the eye, of every living entity. So he has the uh, authority, or he has the responsibility to take care. So that's why in the older times, when somebody has used to have problems of eyes or hearing, then the Vaidya or the Brahmins used to tell that, okay, you worship this deity, particular deity, they will tell. Why? Because that once you worship that deity, then that deity can give the benediction for proper functioning. So everything has deities. It's not like that eyes or ears or hands or nails, everything is working automatically. There is certain functioning behind all these things. Similarly, there are fire, moonlight, sunlight, day and night. There are deities who take care of all this functioning. So these are all the energies of the Lord, we can say, who take care of the material world affairs. So Krishna is now here explaining uh, how the yogis, like the Gyan Yogi or Karma Yogi, because their destination is not the ultimate abode or the supreme abode, right? They will go to certain different destinations, Krishna has told. So because when the bhakti is not predominant, uh, or it is a karma mishra bhakti, then the yogi has some uh, expectations or some desires for himself also, then he is not going to go to the supreme destination. He will go to some other destination like Brahman, or some higher planets. So the here Krishna is telling that I will tell you the paths, how the soul travels to different destinations, and at what time. And in the Vedic Shastra, there are also mention of the auspicious time and inauspicious time. So some deity is in charge of that particular time, and that particular time is taken care by that deity. And so if you soul passes in that particular time, then that deity who is in charge will take care of the further travel of the soul to the destination. So it's just like in a factory, if we don't know the interiors of the factory and we see factory from outside, and if a truck is going with some material in it into the factory, and if I see the truck going inside, I may think how this material that is in the truck will reach the right destination. But there is a system, right? When the truck goes at the entrance, then there is a security person who will take the entry, then he will check the material, and then he will tell, oh, you go to the 10 number shed based on the material. Then the truck goes there, then there is some in charge who will download the material. And then that in charge will take that material to some another place where it is to be used. Right? So there is a path how that material will reach to the ultimate destination where it will be consumed or it will be used. And there is a defined process and system in the factory how it works. From outside, it may look like there is nothing and how it works, but there is a system. So similarly, in this world, material world also, there is a system which is set up and which works. So now Krishna is telling at how the soul or the yogi who passes at different times will or will not come back. And based on this only, the yogis who practice the Ashtanga Yoga or the Jnana Yoga, they will leave the body. So previous times we heard that the stories are there, right? When that at particular moment the yogi will leave the body, and how they will leave, the soul will pass from the top of the head at particular moment, and it will go. So the yogis who are advanced, they know at what time and how they should pass from this world so that they reach the best destination. So that is actually all the process, and it is explained and it is practiced, can be practiced by the yogis who practice that very rigorously. They can attain that. Nowadays, I don't know, but previously it was possible. So that's how the Shastra, including the Bhagavad Gita, gives us a view of the uh, overall Vedic concept. So Arjuna's question was whether I should fight or I should not fight, or rather he's saying, I don't want to fight. And Krishna is trying to tell him that answer. But to answer that, he is using different questions from Arjuna during the conversation to give the overall view of the Vedic Shastra, how the Vedic Shastra covers the uh, complete process of this universal maintenance and how you can go beyond it. So this passage of the soul to the different places is a uh, interesting topic. The Krishna is not very going detail into it, but there are other Upanishads who explain how this works. Like there is Chandogaya Upanishad, which has, I was just checking few verses, which has similar verses that what Krishna is going to tell now. And that Upanishad also explains the logic, how this passage of the soul works. So from tomorrow, the next 2, 3 verses, Krishna will tell at what time, if you leave the body, you will come back or you will not come back, and why you will come back. We can understand by the path that Krishna tells. So at certain path, it will be diverted. So it will go to a place where it's no return. So something like that, Krishna will explain in the next few verses, 2, 3 verses, and then Krishna will tell again about the devotees. Because if all this has to be done, then devotees also need to understand Veda and do the yogic practice and everything. Okay? But Krishna has already told that if you have bhakti, you will attain me. Right? So Krishna will conclude by the same thing. But Krishna also explains how the other devotees travel to the different destinations. Like we discussed how the material travels, similarly the soul has to travel. So we'll see that travel explanation about that travel from the tomorrow's verses. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments? Any questions or additions? Topics? We have few minutes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Let's see the next verses tomorrow.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna, thank you.